United States of Europe giving the EU the respect they deserve by making fun of them just like the US. This week, Russia, Syria, Putin, Obama, Trump. Where the hell is Europe? With Russian airstrikes in Syria, the free world is full of headlines, mostly asking Putin in Syria, why? Maybe it's because Vlad was lonely. First, Putin met with Obama, then he met with François Hollande. Okay, so you can meet with Putin, but make sure he knows he is not on the cool list. You got that, Japan? OMG, Japan. WTF. You are so on the uncool list. Speaking of the uncool list, there's the EU. Sure, there was a Ukraine summit, but apparently Putin would rather meet with Donald Trump.
Trump has recently said that Vladimir Putin is saying he wants to meet with Trump when he comes here. And that he wants to sit down and have a conversation with him. You've met Putin.
I have. Well, the two of them have a lot in common, actually. But
So what is Putin thinking? Well, judging from the headlines, it might be to prop up Assad. It might be Russia's military base in Syria. It might be to a certain... Wait a minute, go back one. Russia has a military base in Syria? Why is this not the main headline? Russia's military base is right here. It's called Tartus. What? Russia has a TARDIS? Not a TARDIS. Although Russia already owns half of London, so yeah, why not a TARDIS? I'm here to save space-time continuum. I am Doctor Who. First, I need assistance, preferably young and female. Now, I'm not endorsing Vladimir Putin, but I do wonder why it's so hard for our media to understand that Russia has a military base in Syria. Tartus, according to the New York Times, is Russia's only overseas military base. Oh, well, maybe it's hard for us to understand because Russia has only one, as opposed to America, which has more than one. If only Putin would give a straight answer. He just keeps asking questions.
А вы чего? Разве вы не понимаете, кто там воюет? Там воюют наемники.
And there are questions he's been asking, like, if there's regime change in Syria, what's the plan to avoid another Libya? If Western powers are so focused on Syria, what's the exit strategy? Now, understandably, Europe is concerned about all the EU citizens entering Syria as jihadis, and of course the flow of refugees from Syria, so much so that Assad recently went on television to complain that too many fighting-age men have escaped to Europe because they didn't want to fight. What he's describing is actually sort of like an unofficial exchange program for Europe. Do you get the feeling there's a reason that EU leaders have been kind of quiet on this issue? How can I get rid of all my radical hotheads in exchange for a flood of working-age cheap labor? Hello, Syria! Meanwhile, you can't trust Putin. Don't forget, he has to be punished for what he did in Ukraine. But what better punishment than to make him clean up the mess in Syria, or specifically, to get involved in a land war in Asia?
You fell victim to one of the classic blunders. The most famous is never get involved in a land war in Asia.
If we really want to punish Putin, just make sure that American flag goes in front of the Russian one. For United States of Europe, I'm Greg Shapiro.